So, hello again, it's nice to see you once more, and today we're going to look at the topic of making a BD plan. That means making a business development plan. Now, I think this is an extremely important thing for lawyers and partners to do, but to my amazement, over the last few years when I've been visiting the various countries and helping law firms with legal sales and marketing, I would say that almost 90% of lawyers and partners have no business development plan at all. So that's not a good state of affairs. If you don't have a personal business development plan, how are you going to know what you're going to do in business development for each month? How are you going to measure the results? Again, I think there's massive room for improvement here, because if you don't even have a personal business development plan, it means, I suspect, that you might not be doing any business development at all. The level is extremely primitive for the European and Russian lawyers. I would honestly expect that maybe some lawyers, if you ask them what have they done in business development, they would say, oh, last year I wrote 2 or 3 articles, I went to a conference, and I talked to some of our current clients when they had questions. Rubbish. You know, you need to be doing a lot more. And talking to your current clients when they have questions, okay, that's good. You have to do that, of course. It might not even be business development though. That might just be doing legal services. So, yeah. This one is an easy win. If you don't have a personal business development plan, you need to make one, and then you need to follow it. Maybe the first concept to begin with here would be client neglect. The first biggest mistake that you can make in business development in a law firm is to think that it's all about finding new clients. It is not. Your priority in your personal business development plan, and this means it has to be for each person individually, so each person, each lawyer or partner is accountable for what they've done or not done. Your priority should be firstly your current clients. So, you know, we remember that there are 3 different categories of clients that we can focus on. We have our current clients, our ex-clients and new clients. Your personal business development plan must not only focus on finding new clients. That's only a part of it. Your priority should be first on your current clients. Then it should be also about recontacting your ex-clients. And then, of course, some new client hunting. So, don't make the assumption that clients will come to you if they have questions. They might not. They might go to your competitors. And don't make the assumption that your client even knows that they have problems, because they might not know this. For them it could be an unknown unknown. So in your business development plan, you have to focus broadly on those 3 categories. Current clients, ex-clients, who are you going to recontact or try to recontact, and what are you going to offer them, and then new clients. You know, your business development plan, it has to be quantified. That means that it's not enough for you to say on your business development plan, I'm going to go to a networking event or a conference. So what? How do we quantify the results of that? How do we measure it? Everything has to be quantified. So you might say, I'm going to go to a conference next month, and my quantification will be, how many business cards do I get? I'm going to try and get 10 business cards. And then we would see the results. 10 business cards resulted in 3 good prospects that are worth following up with, resulted in 2 face-to-face meetings, which resulted in 1 hire, 1 engagement. So not only do your business development plans have to be done per person, not on the basis of a practice, or God forbid on the level of a firm, it has to be personal, and it has to be quantifiable. We want to be able to ask anyone, what is your conversion ratio for that activity? What is the quantification of your efforts? So we want to be able to put this into hard, clear numbers. Also, of course, you know, your personal business development plan, it really needs to be based on a month, not a year. What I see in a lot of law firms is that the lawyers at the very few that bother to do business development plans, they put something together in December, and it's signed off. They do it for the year ahead, and then it's put into a table, into a drawer, buried under papers, and left there for the entire year. And then at the end of the year, when we're expected to justify what we've done, then we might take it out, dust it off, and try and say what we did or didn't do using that BD plan. So no, that's really kind of silly. Your personal business development plan has to be an instrument which you are looking at every day, every week, that you're tracking your achievements as per the plan and recording and quantifying what you're doing. So the personal business development plan should be monthly, not yearly. If you have a monthly business development plan, it's possible for us to check at the monthly business development meetings, which you should be doing as well, to see how we're doing. So it's much better that we have activities spread across 4 weeks, and we try and do activities, and we try and measure our results, we quantify them, and then at the end of the month we can see what was good and what was bad. Then the next month we can focus more on the activities which we enjoyed, which brought us results. We can learn from our mistakes, and we can maybe experiment and try with some new activities. So month by month by month, the idea is that we should be getting better and better at this. If we do this, we can see, it's called the road ahead. We can of course have our goals which we would like to reach after a year, so that's our destination. But these 12 stepping stones, these 12 personal business development plans, these are the stepping stones which are going to show us the road ahead. The road ahead is the journey which we're going to go on to finally reach these different goals. So of course, yes, maybe you want to think about some goals. I would call it tomorrow's reality. We visualize where we would like to be after a year. We can be ambitious with this. We can imagine that we've built up a practice, that we've caught these new clients, regained these ex-clients, that we've cross-sold our current clients. We could even try and be ambitious and think about some different sales volumes that we would like to do. And once we envisage tomorrow's reality, what is our destination that we wish to get to, then over the course of the year, we can think about what are the rough outline of things that we want to do each month in order to get there. So the road ahead is the journey, the 12 monthly business development plans, and tomorrow's reality is our goal. It's our destination, where we want to get to. I think this can also keep us quite motivated, because we can see that the bigger picture. It's not just that this month I'm doing a networking event, a couple of cross-sells, an article, some pitching. It's not that atomized approach. We can see that we're not just building a wall, but we're creating a cathedral. It's going to take us a little bit of time to get there, but we know where we're going. So yeah, I think those two ideas, they kind of go hand in hand. And this is also important because we need resilience. I say to the lawyers, 1 success equals 8 failures. And this means that by being brave, by stepping out of our comfort zone, by having an experimental approach each month, trying new activities, we're going to find a lot of rejection, a lot of failure, a lot of frustration. Things won't go to plan. You're going to hear no many more times than you're going to hear yes. It's okay. It's much, much better than doing nothing. A lot of lawyers, commercially, are doing nothing. They're not having failures because they're not doing anything. So it's okay if you see that you've had 6th failure, 7th failure, 8th failure, and you know that on average, let's say for this activity, there's going to be 1 success for 8 failures, then even these failures are steps in the right direction, because statistically you know that you need a certain number of failures in order to reach a success. So yes, I think you do need to have a certain resilience. Maybe lawyers are very sensitive souls and they don't like rejection and objections, and I can understand that. But you can't expect that you're going to be wonderfully brilliant at everything that you do. Even if you're a wonderful, brilliant, talented lawyer, it doesn't mean that you're going to be wonderful and brilliant initially. in legal business development, and that's okay. You're going to develop these skills. It'll take you some years, some months, but after some years, then we can hope that you would become, and the terminology is, a rainmaker. Now, a rainmaker, I believe this is an American expression. A rainmaker is a lawyer, or actually it's not even a lawyer. A rainmaker is anybody who can generate revenues. I think it's like the Native Americans, that when it was dry and there was a drought and the harvests, the crops needed water, the rainmaker, he would do his thing, he would do his dance, and he would invoke the rain to come, and then there would be the harvest and everything would be great. So you need to aspire towards becoming a rainmaker. And believe me, you are not going to become a rainmaker if you hate business development. It's not enough for you to tolerate this as a necessary evil in your activities. You need to become good at this, you need to be able to enjoy this, and you need to even love business development. Understand that this is part of your job as a lawyer. You cannot be a good lawyer if you cannot identify the needs of your current clients or potential clients, and then if you cannot persuade them to take the best course of action to protect themselves. If you are a rainmaker, you will be able to generate a lot of work, a lot of work for your practice and your firm, and you'll probably become quite wealthy, quite successful, and very well known in your sphere of expertise, your entire jurisdiction. So I'm hoping that what you should be aspiring towards is to become a rainmaker. Maybe it's a good idea to mention now that one thing that you need for your practice, for your law firm, and you probably don't have it, is called the menu. Now, the menu means you should have a list of all of the different activities that you can do, from sales, from pure sales, all the way down to pure marketing. Basically a menu of the different activities that you can do in business development. Almost no law firms have this. So if we start the list at the top with pure sales, that would be things like cold calls and warm calls. It would be email, direct email. It would be active referrals, asking for introductions. It would be T for two, all types of pitching. And as we go down the sales and marketing spectrum, as we move from activities which are more salesy down to activities which are more marketing, which means we're moving from proactive to reactive, we'll see other activities like sales writing, networking, and then at the bottom of the list of this spectrum on the menu, we'll see more marketing activities. The very bottom is advertising. Then above that, we might have things like what do we call them? The rating agencies, the Legal 500 and Chambers, your website. Well, anyway, you need to have a menu. If you don't have one, I'm going to be very modest, of course, I have one. So email me, john@nichedonia.com, and I can send you one. I've identified about 25 different activities that you can do to grow your practice as a lawyer or a partner. That's one reason to have a monthly business development plan, because you should take a more kind of experimental approach to business development. Don't just do the same thing month in, month out. You need to experiment, find and try new things that you can do. Some of them will fail, inevitably, but some of them will succeed. So you need a menu. You can either make one, you can take one from me, you can then modify it and edit it to what's going to be suitable in your firm. If all of the lawyers and partners have personal business development plans for the month based on the same menu, then they will be talking the same language, and it will be comparable between lawyers and partners about what they've been doing and the quantification, the conversion of these different activities. So I think the menu is absolutely critical. And in terms of failure, I think there is a rainbow for every cloud. So let's imagine you decide to try something new for the month ahead. You decide to do, let's say, a mail shot, which means you're going to send some article, physically printed, nice and glossy cover, with a personalized letter, which is also printed on headed company paper. You put it into an envelope, you throw in there one of your business cards as well, why not? And you decide to send that off to 50 managing management people, 50 key decision makers, general directors, CEOs of companies in your jurisdiction. To avoid any kind of non-solicitation rules, you decide to send these to let's say 50 of your ex-clients that somebody in our firm has worked with. And let's imagine we're very enthusiastic about this because we know that a mail shot to 50 such prospects, if it only gives us one conversion, one new client, then there's a return on investment. The physical cost of printing a brochure or an article and an envelope and even the postage inside our jurisdiction, it's very small. And then let's imagine it totally catastrophically fails, so that we don't get any results from this. We even call up some of the people who received the mail shot, and people say, yes, it's interesting, it's nice, but no, I don't want to meet, and no, we don't want to buy anything. I would say let's keep our optimism. There's a rainbow for every cloud, that we can look at this and we can think, okay, how can we do it better next time? Did we make any mistakes? Was our article too long? Was it too academic? Did we have a call to action? Is it relevant? Did we send it to the right people? What good came from this? Well, even if the only good thing that came from it is that we learned not to do mail shots in our jurisdiction, that's something. You need to have a rainbow for every cloud. Maybe the next month we could again target those 50 ex-clients and try and build on the raised awareness that we got to them with the mail shot. So we could then try and invite them all to some kind of business breakfast on that topic, including some teasers about the topic. And maybe they would be a little bit more aware of it because we sent that mail shot, and we can then try and build on that awareness to get higher conversion for our next activity. So this, I think, the positive thinking is extremely important, that you understand not only is there going to be one success equals 8 failures, which sounds kind of depressing, but there is a rainbow for every cloud. What is the positive that has come from this? And, to be honest, I think that if you record your activities of your personal business development plans each month, and if you recorded that you had done such a task, that you had done a mail shot to 50 ex-clients, and you got a certain number of replies, even if it didn't result in any type of monetary success, I think that would also be something impressive to talk about at your annual review. You'd be able to evidence that you're a proactive lawyer and you tried to do something. I'm sure that in many law firms in many countries, managing partners or the boards of partners, they would be delighted if lawyers at least tried to do something. Because it's okay, you at least if you're trying, you will have success sooner or later. I always tell the lawyers that legal sales and marketing is not rocket science. It's nothing that complicated here. It's a question of motivation and intelligence. You have intelligence, so you just need the motivation to get some success there. Maybe we should understand, again, coming back to the idea of client neglect, we should also think about client delight. It's not enough if your current clients and your ex-clients were satisfied with your services, which means they paid their invoices and nobody kicked up a scandal and nobody complained. You know, that's a very low bar to aim for. I think you need to move beyond striving towards customer satisfaction, and you need to aim for client delight, which means you need to have clients who absolutely were delighted with your legal services and love your firm so much that they will do anything to help us. So this means that they will give us references if we want to use that in marketing, or citations for Legal 500 or Chambers. It means that they will recommend their friends, or even better, they're going to be willing to let us ask them to introduce us to their friends. You need to aim towards client delight. So again, in your personal monthly business development plan, how about you include a few activities, a few little tasks, which are aimed to delight your clients. Tea for two is a simple one, and it means you should pay. It's going to be your treat. You know, birthday cards, whose birthdays are going to be. Invite them to different events. Pitching your current clients isn't only sales. Pitching could be to let them be aware of things that are happening, send them some articles. It's not just about sales, it's about customer service. And this can help your clients reach client delight. So a key concept to keep in mind with your personal business development plan is client delight. Don't try to ride a square-wheeled bike. You know, this is another thing that I see a lot of lawyers and partners doing. They're doing things massively inefficiently. It's like trying to ride a bike with square wheels, and it's slow and it's tedious and it's irritating. So a lot of lawyers and partners are going each month to some awful networking event, and they don't see any results, but they go and they go and they go, and sooner or later they get lucky and some result comes from it. You know, that's just chance. You could do things a lot more efficiently. There are probably a lot of activities that you're doing in sales and marketing which are a total waste of time, where you have conversion zero. So another reason to do a personal business development plan is to kind of cut down on these massively inefficient activities. Try to focus on the ones that actually bring results, and if it doesn't bring results, you try and change your approach to it, and if none of that works, then you do something else. So don't flog a dead horse. Don't be pushing a big stone up the hill. Don't try and ride a square-wheeled bike. If the things that you're doing become so frustrating and slow and tedious without any kind of sense of reward or results, which is riding a square-wheeled bike, then you're going to become demotivated and give up anyway. So again, try to make life easy for yourself. Try to find some successes, and then you're going to get motivated. It's maybe a good idea to also consider, when you're doing a personal business development plan, both what it is that you're offering. You need to have some product UVPs. It is not enough for you just to say, I'm a real estate lawyer, I'm a tax lawyer, I do competition. No. Because quite a lot of people, when they meet you, they're going to think, but I don't need a real estate lawyer. I'm not buying or selling property. I don't think I'm doing anything in competition that's going to get me in bother, so I don't need them. If you don't have something to offer in terms of product UVPs, product unique value propositions, then it's going to be very difficult for you to tangibly sell it or propose it and pitch it. So maybe one thing for your quantified personal business development plan is to think about, what products can I offer? What legal products can I offer? So if you're a real estate lawyer, you might say, we have this lease compliance review product. So let's check if your leases are bulletproof and there's no potential problems that can come there. You might think, we can offer you the legal product of privatization of property if you've been renting it from the state for a certain time. We can show you how to do land use conversion from agricultural to commercial and make a lot of money. You have to have a few interesting bullet points, a few interesting things to offer, and you can then discuss them and pitch them and propose them. If you can have a story, if you can show the story behind what you're doing, then this can also be interesting for people, that it's not just that you created a legal product, but where is this coming from? What's the history about this? If you can integrate it in answer, what's your story about the history of your firm, how your firm has grown and developed, how there were some needs that you discovered, or clients that came to us, we can tell them some war stories, and then we can show how this integrated into the creation and development of this legal product. It's going to make it much more memorable and valuable, and easier for us in the end to sell. You need to also be able to answer the question, why should we work with you? What are your company UVPs? What are your company strengths? Maybe you have an exciting product UVP, you have a nice product that you can offer, but they might also think, well, could we ask our in-house counsel to do this? Could we ask another law firm to do this? For that reason, you need to be able to show your company strengths, and not in generic, plain vanilla terms. Why should you work with us? One way to think about this is in terms of an explanation. So you have a paragraph where you explain in non-vanilla terms what are our competitive advantages. Then you boil that down into a slogan or a single sentence about what's good about our firm, and then you put that down into a value word, one word or two or three words. This takes a little bit of time, but if you do this to have explanation, slogan and value word, and you have maybe 5 or 6 of these for your practice or your firm, then it'll be easier for you to remember. The value word you can expand into a slogan or a sentence, and then you can explain it. That's one way to show your company UVPs. And all of the lawyers and the partners in the firm will be saying the same kind of thing, which I think is probably a very good idea. Most law firms are nowhere near this. Everyone is just saying plain vanilla nonsense. Oh, we're really experienced, we've got high quality work, we're really good, one-stop shop for your needs. Pfft, rubbish. So try to focus on explanation, slogan and value word, and then be able to incorporate these into your pitches to show what are your company UVPs. And in your product UVPs, be sure not to give spoilers. Don't tell them exactly how to do your legal product, or they might then take the idea and do it themselves, or ask their in-house counsel or another lawyer to do it. Finally, one way to reach client delight is through a thing called client bonds analysis, and you can read a little bit more about that on the materials. This means that it's not just on a scale of 1 to 10, how good is your relationship with a client. You need to be able to measure this across 5 parameters. The bureaucratic relations, the organizational relations, the need relations, direction relations, and social relations, BONDS. So this just means that if you want to measure customer satisfaction and you want to move beyond customer satisfaction to client delight, then maybe you look at this through different parameters. So the social one is the easiest. How socially close are you? If you've never met them nor seen them and don't even know their name, then that's 0. If you have had some lunches with them, you know about their family, you're friends on Facebook, and by the way, you should be friends on Facebook with your clients. In that case, you have a higher social relationship. I think social relations are very important as you move towards partner, managing partner level with clients. Bureaucratic, how tight is your paperwork? Do you have a contract? I hope so, gosh. Do you have exclusivity? Do you have cancellation fees? Do you have retainer? Have you done your risk check and your compliance? You know, the bureaucratic bonds are very important as well. What about the direction bonds? Do you have similar values and so on? So this means that if you want to measure customer satisfaction, because we don't want to do client neglect when we're doing our personal business development plans, we could examine it through the prism of client bonds analysis. And wherever those bonds, those relations are weakest, then that would be the area to improve on. And that would be things that you would then put into your monthly business development plan. So if your social relations are weak with the current client, then you decide to do something to improve it in the next business development plan. So I think that's maybe the main things that I'd like to share with you today about making a BD plan. Your homework is very simple. Make one. Make a personal business development plan for the month ahead. Fix time on your weekly schedule, a number of hours where you do business development, and then follow the plan for the activities you're going to do. If your business development plan is nothing more sophisticated than 5 or 6 bullet points about what you're going to do the month ahead, but you quantify it and you put it on the timetable and you actually do it, then that's wonderful. Don't be too ambitious. You can grow this and develop this over time, but I think, wasn't it Woody Allen? He said that half of success is simply turning up. So if you just get started and you do this, month by month, you're going to get better at it and you're going to get results and eventually become, I think, a Rainmaker. So good luck with that, and I wish you the best. If you've got any questions about business development plans, or you want to show me your business development plan for feedback, email me john@nicodonia.com and I'd be happy to share some thoughts with you. Okay, thank you very much.